Okay, so today is October 8th. In 2 days, there's going to be that Robotaxi event. And we are expecting, because we followed Tesla for a long time, that the stock will probably go down right after the event, because literally after every event that they host, the stock usually goes down. So we were thinking, why not actually utilize that sort of experience in seeing that pattern and try to do like a put. And I'm not experienced with options trading, so I don't know how all of it works, but we're just gonna try it. Right now, we did put a put for October 11th, but I discovered that they have some sort of simulation type of thing. So you can see it right here, simulate my returns. And this is not good because by the time it hits 11, it's already too late. And the October 10th, the event is on the October 10th, so that's not good. So we're trying to sell this one as soon as possible. We're already losing a little bit from it, but let's actually do the right put right now. And what you can do is go to trade options. This is probably a better date, and I expect it to decrease by more than 10%, honestly. But this one's like not a bad one right here, 230. I just like that number. It just appeals to me right now. So I put it on a watch list, and you don't have to actually buy it. You can just go to your watch list and do the simulation thing, but I'm just gonna buy it right now. I'm willing to bet basically this amount that it will be going down, $470. And I could lose it all, honestly, I could. But we're gonna try it because I just feel like I'm willing to try and make this bet and see how it works out. Okay, so it's happening, and we have two options right here that we can see, one for the right date, one for the wrong date. And now let's do the simulation thing. Again, you could have done this before buying it on the watch list thing, but let's just assume I'm correct. And by the time it hits, after they do the event on October 10th, it hits October 11th, and the stock goes down tremendously by at least 5%. That's about the estimated returns that I would have, $256. And if it does go down by like a crazy amount, like let's say 10%, then that's the amount of returns that I will get. Again, I'm betting $475 on this. So I could stand to lose that much, but I can stand to gain. I don't think it'll go below 10%. So stand to gain around like 900 something. So that would be a profit about $400, I think. Unless returns means like total profit, but we'll see. Okay, it turns out I ended up not recording my microphone while screen recording. So I was talking the whole time for the next clips without anything being recorded, unfortunately. But what happened here was I saw on a date, like the next day, that things were kind of like high and I was already gaining a profit. So it turns out that simulated returns is total returns. So I could stand to gain like 900 something. But this is a retrospective, so I kind of know what happens already. But at the time, basically what I was saying was like, okay, this is kind of a good amount. I'm just going to sell right now. I ended up getting $150 for selling it. And then I was like, I feel like it's going to go, the price is going to go back up. So I bought back at a lower cost. So I ended up making some profit from that. I bet basically the same amount again, so 475. And so once I did, this was actually a lower price point, I think. I set it to be a put for $227.5 instead of $230. And as you can see, based on the screen recording, I actually got a huge amount of returns. It was like 913 is what I just saw. But I ended up selling it for 850. I think the highest I could have sold it for was about 950, but I set the price to be 850 just in case. This was also me waking up in the morning. You can see that it's 6:30 and it's supposed to be still my bedtime, but I naturally woke up at around 6 and I was like, I feel like, the market opens around this time. I wasn't sure. I checked and it does open at 6:30 for PST. So I was like, okay, might as well just like check out what's going to happen and follow through with this whole bet that I'm making about the stock going down. So looks like I was lucky because it ended up being the lowest near the morning, and I sold it for a good price, I think. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of luck, honestly. Even though I did notice the pattern of Tesla stock going down while after they host events,
Um, I feel like a lot of people can notice that quite easily, right? And it doesn't happen every single time. I think there's been at least one or two events where the stock went up instead. And this event was definitely hyped up for sure. And just to give some background for me, I followed Tesla for a while, like since they before the Model 3 even came out. So I sort of already had like invested at that point. So that's why if you looked carefully, you'd see that I have a good amount invested in them. I think in the long term, I really, really hope in the long term that Robotaxi and those related things like the Optimus robot thing is legit, because that would be so cool. Like, I live in California and LA traffic is hell. It's real, it sucks. And to be able to actually like not have to drive in that traffic, if they prove that it is safe and everything like that, then I'm all for it, you know? Like, so I'm kind of really, really hoping in the long term that it happens. But I know that for these events, like, generally that's what happens with the stock. So I'm able to like I'm able to detach myself and just be like, let's just try this because I've observed it so many times. And at this point, let's do it. So as you can see, for my history, I haven't touched the stock or done anything for a very long time. I I basically just heard about this event and was like, yeah, why don't we just try this for fun? Like it's just a bet, you know? I'm willing to lose that 475, but looks like I ended up gaining $1,000 instead, which is really, really cool. I do not recommend doing this unless, you know, you feel very, very confident or you're willing to lose that money. It's not something I will be doing a lot of. It is simply just something I did for fun, and I'm just showing it because I feel like I ended up winning the bet. So it's like it's a good feeling, you know? And now I have some extra funds to go back to Japan for my flight and everything. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I end up using that for. Honestly, I probably would just like put it in my savings or something. But I know this is generally a contentious topic. For me, I'm not making this to say anything other than showing my like the results of my bet. That's it. Like, everyone is free to think what they want and believe what they want. But for me, this is just something fun that I ended up doing. So I hope maybe somehow you gained a little bit of knowledge from that. I certainly gained a lot of knowledge on like options trading in general. I didn't notice the whole like simulate results and all that stuff. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll try it again in the future and see what happens.